Welcome to the More Life Podcast, where creatives, problem solvers, and entrepreneurs talk about squeezing more out and finding meaning in this crazy thing we call life. Let's dive in.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the More Life Podcast. I'm your host, Bart Aniston. This week, we are here with Viktoriya from Finer Point. Viktoriya, say what's up to the people.
What's up? What's up? Thanks for having me.
We're glad that you are here. And if you are here also for the first time, I want you to subscribe, hit the notification bell if you're watching this on YouTube, and please leave 5-star reviews wherever you listen to podcasts. Okay, Viktoriya, Finer Point, e-commerce, web business. Tell me everything, tell me nothing. We're going to cover it all in this conversation. The first thing is, where did you come from?
Originally, I am from Ukraine.
No, sorry. That's not even remotely what I'm talking about. How did you start this? Just for context, for everyone else that's listening, Viktoriya started working in the same co-working space that I also work at. And we immediately hit it off in terms of working together, business, and sharing lots of laughs. She laughs at all my jokes, which makes me feel really good, even though I know I'm not as funny as she makes me feel. But yeah, Viktoriya is an e-commerce web developer and designer, and you've been doing this for about a year. So what I mean, like where you come from, is almost like, how did you show up here? Because you kind of did not have this type of career path to be a web designer.
Yeah, honestly, it was kind of random how I fell into it. I didn't really like the way that I was going towards originally. I worked at Enterprise Car Rentals, great place to work, give you the support to be your own boss. That brother's quote. But honestly, I just didn't really like where it was headed. I didn't really want to move up that corporate ladder. So I just decided to look at other things that I thought could work. So I just applied to this one agency, and they did design development. I just applied to be like an account manager, and they showed me the ropes, and I thought it was really cool that something like that was out there. I had no idea e-commerce was even a thing at that point. So they kind of showed me how to work with Shopify, how to do a lot of different integrations, design, development work, whatever. And then I just started to pick up myself. I started to learn a little bit more, started to connect with people in the industry. Everyone seemed pretty determined to keep pushing and keep going, keep driving, and I was really infatuated by that feeling, and I thought it was something that I could work towards and grow with. So I just kept going. Honestly, after school, I did a post-grad at Humber. I did account management, where I got the opportunity to work at Dentsu. So from there, I worked on the LVMH account with Sephora. I worked with Louis Vuitton, different types of brands.
Excuse me.
It was only for a couple months as an internship. However, it really gave a good insight as to the expectations that these big companies have.
Right.
And, how to go about these accounts and how to grow a business and, any little thing that you and I wouldn't really have the opportunity to understand. And then honestly, at one point, I just thought that it was a dead end at that point. Yeah. I just got too comfortable, and that's one thing I don't like is comfort. Ooh. Comfort makes me lazy. I feel like it makes me very bored and just not determined at all. So,
are you an adventure seeker?
Yeah, I think I'm a thrill seeker. I'm an adventure seeker. At the beginning, sometimes it's a little bit scary to dip your toe in the water, but then once you get into it and once you understand that there's more to the picture and that you can... It's just all internal feelings that you don't even know what's going to happen. Once you kind of put that aside and once you kind of give things a chance, it starts to flow better and you can really understand that you're more capable of doing than you actually thought you were at the beginning.
And you're kind of lucky you've jumped into a world of design and creativity at a point where it's kind of very democratized, like accessible to anyone. You took a post-graduate course, you picked up skills on your own, YouTube is readily available to you, you have Skillshare, whatever it is, you can pick up skills so much easier. Like the old guy in the room, me, president, who went to college for this and took courses and classes, they're now teaching this stuff in high school.
Yeah.
like they just give it away for free. I'm just like, hey, I paid really good money for this.
Yeah.
Please.
Give me a job.
Yeah, please, somebody don't destroy my industry.
Yeah.
And it's not destroying it. If anything, it pushes us to do better.
Yeah.
I even think of companies like Adobe, who I've recently just stopped paying for because I'm like, I hate you guys. I love them because that's what I learned in school and that's what I grew up on. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, there's other better tools that cost less money and do a lot of things that are very powerful, like Figma. I'm a huge fan of Figma.
Yeah.
So tell us more about the journey. So then when do you go from I'm working as an intern to I'm going to register a business?
I mean, at that point, I feel like it was a decision I had to make whether I needed to pursue a full-time position at an agency where I already wasn't feeling comfortable at. You have to understand that at this point in time, everything was virtual, everything was online.
This is COVID time, right?
Yeah, this is COVID time. This is like peak COVID time. Even though I work, everything's online. Even though I do everything online, I still really, really love that human interaction. You know, I really like to talk to clients and kind of do more exploratory work in terms of, you know, how we would get things done and come up with some sort of solutions. And I feel like at that internship, I was boxed in and I wasn't really given an opportunity to grow and learn, whether it's from doing something great or a mistake, you know, like things happen. So yeah, I mean, at that point, I thought it was all or nothing. I knew that if I didn't take that leap, I would have regretted it. And that's one of the worst things you can ever do. I definitely would have regretted it. And I'm so happy that I did. You know, they weren't happy with me that I was leaving.
We showed you the secret sauce and then we're like, bye.
Yeah.
Thank you, next.
But that's what you have to do. You know what I mean? Like.
So basically you're saying you're gangster.
No, I mean, like, at the end of the day, everyone's interests, anyone's gonna do whatever's best for them. You know what I mean?
That's 100% true.
And me being a business owner, if I have employees that come up to me that kind of go through the same process or go through the same journey, I understand. You know what I mean? They want growth. They want different types of potential exposure that maybe it's just not working for them. So, you know, it's definitely like a learning curve. It's a process you have to take. And you have to understand that everyone's path is different. You know, people that started in the industry 20 years ago, they could be comfortable. They could like having that 9-to-5 security. To me, it just wasn't really desirable. And I just thought it's either going all in now, see what happens. Worst case, I start another company and another one. If that doesn't work,
Gary
maybe I'll apply somewhere. Maybe. But like, nah.
Would you say you're a designer or are you a marketer? A solutions-based marketer?
I think a little bit of both.
Okay.
I've always had that design. Yeah. I always have that appeal as to what looks good and bad and what kind of people vibe with, and you know, in terms of, you know, processing everything and the strategy as well as to how that goes together. But I also understand solutions and I understand how things work and you know where we have problems and how to solve those problems. I firmly believe that, you know, you can solve any issue that you have ever, especially with Shopify, especially with e-commerce, especially with anything. So, yeah, I mean, that's, you know, it's a battle, but there's definitely lots of work.
Would you say, like, the way that you work, you've had to learn a lot? Because this is where my fascination with you started from. I'm like, look how young you are, how smart you are, and how fast you have like. I feel like this industry is kind of like double dutch, you know, double dutch.
Yeah.
And it takes kind of practice to learn how to do that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, look how fast this girl has just jumped in and started doing it. She's like, boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, it takes a lot of people a lot of time to learn. Okay, I'm not a freelancer. Okay, I need to be a business. So what do I do differently? How do I work on systems and processes and delegate tasks and focus on my P&L reports and reporting to my bookkeeper? You have figured that part out very quickly by my estimation. I'm just like, wait, you just started this last summer? I'm like, okay. If this was a movie, this is when you would cut to me in 2017, like spinning my wheels, trying to create lightning. Whereas like I'm like, oh, you've avoided a lot of the pitfalls, which I'm like, that's really cool. And then the more that I talk with you, I'm like, okay, you're pretty savvy. You have your good head on your shoulders. So you're understanding the business side, which I think is even more commendable than like the design side. And we've had this conversation many times on the podcast where like design is becoming more of a basic commodity. There's so much good design out there now.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, how do you differentiate yourself? I think it comes in the form of how do you solve someone's problems? How do you provide that solution? How do you get them from point A to point B? But yeah, like, okay, even let's talking about like how you set up your business. You predominantly put it all, you predominantly put it in your website and your Upwork. You started on Upwork. Now, I told you already this funny story about Upwork where I started to build an account like in 2016 or 2015. And their computer software did not like me. I'm not going to say Upwork is racist, but I am going to say that I uploaded a picture of a white person and it worked. And they would not accept my profile with my photo, which said, and then said that they would not accept my submission of like all my work. And so I have a hate.
Do better, Upwork.
Yeah, seriously. They're lucky this didn't happen in 2022. Yeah. I would have canceled them. Okay, it would have been like over. Like, yeah, it would have been not good. So I feel like Upwork was a cool and great solution. It still is because I'm on there, even though no one hires me on there. I'm still navigating since talking with Viktoriya. Sorry, I don't want to put that out there. Scratch that from the record. She showed me some tricks of the trade on how she's navigating lead generation in a way that I think is so modern. Because it's like, okay, I never would have thought of this.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like hacking the system. It's very, very post 2020. Like it's very like new school, and it makes me feel very old when I talk to you. When it's like you're sharing these like little tricks, I'm just like, yo, you're like a hacker. You're just out here hacking the system, making it work, and like, oh, here are the building blocks you have to complete before you move to the next level. And then you just like, nah, I'm just gonna jump all these extra things I'm supposed to do. Nah, I don't want to learn all this. This is like antiquated. There's actually a faster and a better way to do this. Yeah. I'm just gonna skip all your stupid stuff and go over here. I'm just like watching. I'm just like, damn, I really messed up. So talk to us about Upwork, how you started on there, and how you position yourself on there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Upwork's been very interesting. I mean, the way I started was, all credit goes out to my business coach. He showed me the ropes. He showed me how to do everything. He's honestly put me on so much. So, he's definitely been a blessing in that case. But I have looked into it previously. And it's just one of those things where it's like, if you put in time into it, there will be some sort of reward that comes out of it, just like with any other platform.
Yeah. So you're saying I haven't put enough time into it?
I mean, 10,000 hours is kind of like pushing
10,000 hours.
It's pushing it, but like if you're consistent, it's about consistency. If you're consistent with it, if they see that you're interactive with it, if they see that you're actually looking to get some meaningful jobs out of it and some decent connections, then I think it's worthwhile. But no, so like, I mean, going from the beginning, I set up my profile, at first everything's kind of slow, but as soon as you get that one first client, one first customer, that's when it all changes. You get that good review.
For those that are listening, I'm rolling my eyes.
You get that good review, and I mean, honestly, it's up from there. You just kind of keep automating it. You keep working at it. You keep perfecting your pitch, uploading new case studies. I feel like Upwork also forces you to really provide good service, because this way, if you don't do something proper, or at least you don't set that expectations and deliver on the expectation, you're more likely to get a bad review, and then that's going to impact your ability to get future jobs.
Can you put your Upwork reviews on like Google or like on your website, I guess?
Yeah, yeah, you can pull it from there. I mean, they're
Mm.
your reviews. They're kind of nurtured towards you and very, intimate in that way. That's definitely a good way to go about it. That's another reason why. And I've actually had people that would be looking for Shopify experts in the area, and like my Upwork account would come up as a search option in
Wow.
Google. So like this also optimizes SEO if you're
Yeah.
trying to get out there a little bit more organically. So I mean, like in terms of that, it's just kind of getting on board with how the system works, really understanding the limitations of what you can and can't do. Making sure that you're still in limitations of their rules as to they don't want you to take things out of the platform. They kind of
Right.
want you to keep everything
Kosher.
exactly. It's
Yeah.
it's your account. Like no one else is allowed to touch your account, type of stuff.
Unless you know what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. But they still kind of have those limitations. However, I feel like the opportunity is really good to not use it. And it's just a good cash flow system. It's just a good way to get things running. It's a good way to get things, yeah, exactly, up to speed, and for you to learn way quicker than I would if I went the traditional route and just started to produce content and maybe get a client in 1 to 3 months.
You see how she's throwing shade at my content.
Okay.
She's throwing shade at my content marketing strategy. Maybe you'll get one client in 1 to 3 months.
No shade, never no shade, but like, you know what I mean? Like there's way to go about it. There's, people are open to it as well. There's a lot of big companies that go to places like Upwork.
Which I'm so surprised.
Yeah. Me too, honestly. Like they've had good experience. Some have had good experience, some haven't, which is unfortunate.
Right.
But I really try to be that differentiating factor that when they found me, they're like, thank God I found you, because everything else kind of sucked,
Why Shopify? Why e-commerce? Why not like something else? Is that what you learned first? So it's like your first love type of thing?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so. I think I just fell into it, and it was just kind of something that I really enjoyed. When I was younger, I actually really loved to go shopping with my mom. So I've always had this, I don't know, passion, I guess, towards shopping in general.
Are you a material girl?
A little bit.
Okay. We're going to go to the rapid fire questions at the end. I'm joking.
a little bit. I dabble here and there at the mall, or recently online.
Do it now, right? Like,
yeah.
Live your life.
So, I mean, I don't know. Shopify just made sense for me. Everything about their platform is just so versatile. They're always up to date. Their company culture is just so amazing in the way they treat their employees and overall commitment. They have really good environmental and sustainability goals, how they try to cut back, different emissions and try to help, whether it's decreasing Black Friday, I don't know, emissions or,
I got you.
So like they try to give back a lot. So I feel like their values and the platform, the service that they offer just align perfectly. But that being said, looking into the future, I feel like they're like the Apple of e-commerce, you know? Like
100%.
They know what they're doing, they know what's coming, and they know how to handle it. And, it's just natural that you kind of pivot into Shopify and grow with them.
Yeah, like you're very much Shopify. I'm a very WordPress person. We're like on opposite sides of the spectrum.
Yeah.
I do traditional content marketing and you do Upwork marketing.
Yeah.
We're just I'm surprised you don't have like an Android phone and I have like a BlackBerry. Like we're just big.
Pause.
Yeah, blue bubble for life. So yeah, like and I guess that also matches like the CPG stuff you do, consumer good products.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, and I love this whole narrative, this whole trajectory, only because, there's a influx of new people who are starting businesses, who are becoming overnight successes through their TikToks and through their Instagram reels and posts and through their, anything social media related. You can become a star overnight. All it takes is one blog to pick you up, one algorithm to say yes to you, and all of a sudden those candles you've been making in your house, 10 at a time, all of a sudden now you need to make 10,000 at a time. Yeah. And people are giving up regular 9 to 5 jobs to start more of the, okay, I'm going to take control of my own finances. I want to be somebody who is a boss where I'm like, I'm going to make my own money, whether it's a side gig, a side hustle, or like a regular 9 to 5 job. So it's very like everything aligns that way. So I love that for you in the sense that, okay, this is, you are one of the people who is like saying no to traditional work to start your own venture. And you're also predominantly helping companies of people who have also said no to traditional work. I will start my own venture as well. The people that you meet most of the time, are these are younger people?
They vary. They vary from, people that have been in business for 20, 30 plus years to someone that's been just starting out and they kind of want to try out and see what will happen. But it really all depends. Everyone has different goals, whether it's, just to have some sort of income coming in, just something here and there, whether they're just trying something out that's new and different for them, or whether they're starting their fifth or sixth business because they already know the industry and they already know how profitable something is going to be. But it's really interesting because all these people come from like such different paths, and hearing their story and hearing everything that they've done and hearing how they got to this point is inspiring in a way, mostly because they also took that risk. They also put everything out on the line.
True.
Whether it's going to work out or not, this is the thing, right? Like, you can never have high expectations. You just kind of go at it and just put it in your all and, do your best.
Yeah. How do you feel about like the whole creator, I'm a CEO, I'm a boss babe world that we live in? There is not the same excitement. People are, it sounds horrible, and I don't think anybody cares except for me. Nobody cares about men in business. Well, that's because men have been in business forever. But I'm like, there's a new wave, okay? There's a whole bunch of BIPOC people. There's a whole bunch of younger people who are trying to make it. But there is this very special community of women who, want to be self-employed or entrepreneurial, and B, want to like support others to do it.
Yeah.
And I totally get that, especially when you think, only 60, 70 years ago, how most women didn't even have their own money.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, now not only do you enter the workforce, but now you could actually be the boss.
Yeah.
And you can make the decisions your own way, the way you want it, and run a business.
Yeah.
Have you found this community to be, A, are you a part of it? And B, have you found it to be helpful?
To be really honest with you, I'm not really a part of any like female community.
Not because you're divisive? No, I'm joking. Oh my gosh.
No, joking. No. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I don't think that me being a female should categorize me in any sort of way.
I love that answer.
Like, just because I'm a female doesn't mean I'm less risk averse, or like I want to take less chance or do anything else that a man can or can't do.
Yeah.
I think it's time we step out of that narrative that's been like, oh, women couldn't do this and this 50 years ago, this and that. It's like, okay, like let's just move on from that. Like, now we're like talking about today and what's going to be in the future. Yeah, it's just like, I don't know. I feel like that whole transition is just so overdone at this point. And it's like, I mean, I get how women promote it. Like, I understand the reason behind it in terms of like personal branding, whatever. Like, they can definitely relate to other women. However, it's like, how long are you going to milk that for until you start promoting something valuable to everyone else? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That doesn't matter if you're a male, female, you know what I mean? Whatever your pronouns are, like, it doesn't really matter. I mean, just do something. Like, help the community. Like, just be you, right? So
I have the same feeling, like, a lot of times, especially when I was, just on the grind when I first started this business, I'd be invited to very specific industry Black events.
Yeah.
And I think I went to like one or two. I'm just like, I only want to be considered because I'm the best.
Yeah, exactly.
And I only want to talk to people who also I find are cool and are the best.
Yeah.
I don't think it helps if we're picking based on your skin or because of your gender. 'Cause I'm just like, well, where's the how do you calculate how feminine do I have to be considered the best at my job?
Yeah.
Or how black do I have to be considered the best at my job? So it's like,
and then, like, I don't know, I feel like it's so marginalized at that point. It's like you're putting yourself in this box, in this boundary where you're technically not allowing yourself to be inclusive with anyone else beyond that. You know what I mean? It's like, what if I want to come to one of those events as like a white person to like an all black event? It's like, how would I feel? You know what I mean?
I would love to see you try.
Like, would I be included? Would that be okay? You know,
of course it'd be okay, but I think you feel very awkward.
Like, that's the thing. Like, it shouldn't be like that. You know, like, we're all here to talk about business. Like, we're all here to like help each other grow. Like, we're all here to we have the same common goal. So I feel like our background and how we got here shouldn't be that big of an impact as to where we want to keep going, because it's what the goals or the horizon that we're focused on, not kind of where we come from. So
that's great. And speaking of like horizons, what's next for Finer Point? We didn't even talk about like where the name came from and all that kind of. I don't think unless you really have a very great story to tell.
Not really.
Okay.
I just want things to be fine. It's fine, you know, it's a point. You get to the point, it's a fine point. You want to be at this fine point, you know, with your e-commerce. We have this goal and we want to get to that finest point that's possible.
Listen, a brand or a logo rather is just a logo.
Yeah.
The name is just the name.
Exactly.
It's whatever the brand story you attach.
Yeah.
It does not matter.
Yeah.
I don't think you can explain to me what the word McDonald's translates like for real, word for word. I think it's just someone's last name.
Yeah.
But if you say the word McDonald's in every country on the planet, they understand hamburger, French fries.
Yeah, exactly.
So they understand what is the brand. So yeah, the name doesn't matter, or the logo doesn't matter as much, but how it relates to your brand story and how you market it, I think that's the most important thing. What's next for you? What are you trying to evolve in your business that could probably help some of our listeners?
Yeah, honestly, I feel like it's really.
And I'm going to ask you to talk closer to the mic.
Sorry. I feel like next steps would definitely be zoning in on how we will grow our business, whether it's through content marketing, whether it's, you know, more personalization.
Join the dark side. Content marketing. Become an influencer.
Yeah, exactly.
Write blogs. Make TikTok. Start dancing.
Yep, might get there soon. But I mean, you know, it's also about building a community with whether it's future clients or whether it's other agencies or other business owners, mostly because that's where a lot of value comes from. You know, you learn a lot from them, so I feel like that's really important. It's kind of hard when you're first starting out. It's kind of hard for you to be working in the business plus on the business. So as soon as you get out of working in your business, you're more capable of working on your business and, you know, expanding it and growing your clients and being more open to new adventures and new possibilities and services and, you know, anything that kind of goes with that. So I guess this year and maybe like this quarter is going to be that transition period where I step back from doing more of the in-house work. I step back from doing most of the design as I really understand the process now and, you know, how we get to that client satisfaction peak to really zoning in on, you know, helping other creatives. If someone loves to do design, you know, I'll be that
conduit.
Exactly. That's the word I was looking for. To nurture them, help them out, you know, help them grow, and then potentially help my clients grow as well.
So how are you going to do that? I'm asking this now is the hard questions. I've heard of people hiring like virtual operations managers. I've heard people hiring like consultants that can help systematize or like build up your Monday.com platform and kind of give like very in-depth SOPs. Do you have a plan?
In terms, I mean, I already have a virtual assistant.
Lovely.
And she takes care of some back end stuff for me. I think the next step would definitely be to hire a full-time project manager, so they can take care of a lot of the client communications, and which takes up majority of the time.
Bruh.
It's a lot, but if someone can manage that, that would be great. And then moving forward, definitely have a full-time developer. That's really important, as we do a lot of development work, and kind of hopefully maybe push into like some Web3 stuff eventually. So just try to like pivot in like a different direction and try to like test different projects. And yeah, I mean, like after that, it's really just about expanding our services, really niching down on who is our actual ideal consumer, ideal client, and how we're gonna help them out as best possible.
You have like a small core of people right now that are helping you. You're growing a business. It hasn't even been a year yet. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Do you have people that support you? Because I feel like I had people that supported me when it was a side gig. I was just freelancing. But I have a family. So people are very concerned when I said this is going to be it. Make it or break it time. I'm not getting any younger. And some people in my life are very supportive in the sense of, to an extent, do a job, you get paid for it, you pay your bills.
Yeah.
I like those people. They're valuable. Some of them are related to me by blood. And then there's other people who I hold even closer. And it's because we have a similar mind track on wealth building and of growing it to as big as we can. And like you said at the beginning, maybe have another business, another venture, and another idea. And I feel like you're on that path where this is great. The agency life is great, but it's not the end all be all for you. And like, okay, you may have other ideas and other things. Does your family, do the people, your friends that are close to you, do they understand that about you? Do they know that side of you?
So my family, yes, especially my mom. She sees the entrepreneurial.
Yep.
She sees that side of me, and she's really supportive. She's always been really supportive of everything that I do, and just her being like, "You're so smart." Like, I feel like that's just kind of like so heartwarming to me, and it's.
Does your
really
mom
good.
know what you do?
To an extent,
Okay.
I feel like she still knows. She thinks I do like marketing, but because that's what I went to school for. Yep. So like it's kind of in the realm, but like she doesn't really get it completely. My brother, he kind of understands, and he's 18, and I try to get him to like develop and do stuff for me, and like he does some work on the side for me sometimes, so I like pay him hourly. But yeah, I mean, like they get it. My dad is like in his own world. He's busy with his own business. It's too much for him to handle.
Is that where you got the entrepreneurial spirit from?
Yeah. My dad, he came to Canada when he was early 20s by himself, no money, slept on a park bench, like super poor. Eventually he got into a basement, kind of lived there for free. He helped do some work around the house for some lady, and then that's kind of where he like went from. He went typical European, started in construction, built his way up. He's done a phenomenal job. He brought me and my mom over, so my life could have been very different if it wasn't for my dad. So like I'll always be thankful for him. He's an amazing, super kind-hearted.
Wow, you said two nice things about your parents. I haven't said anything yet.
They're great people. They're really good people. I mean, like, I honestly don't have anything bad to say about them. And even like my family back home in Ukraine, like they're so great. I feel like I'm very blessed to come from the family that I have. Even though there's not too much of us. I know you have like a super big family.
I have a huge family. We have lots of family meetings.
Yeah. For us, there's not too much of us, but like we're all very close knit, and
that's very good though.
Yeah, it's good. It's really good. But I mean, in terms of my friends, they get what I do, but they can't explain it. Like when someone asks them, they'd be like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I don't know what to tell you, which is okay.
Viktoriya's in their own world.
Yeah, which is okay. I mean, I don't expect anyone. Plus, honestly, I think it's part of like my thing where it's like I haven't been too vocal about it to everyone. It's not
We're working on that. We've been talking about like you gotta get your social media.
Yeah.
Live it up.
Exactly. Just like started like promoting myself more. But like then again, I'm still like figuring stuff out. So that's kind of where that goes. And
I feel like my mom and maybe some of my older aunts and uncles they're so conservative. They're like, you made money. You have to put it away. Like you have to hide it. Like
Yeah.
don't like no, mom. I'm gonna make a lot more money than this.
Yeah.
Oh, God willing, God willing. You know, like you're like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
we don't know what will happen in the
No.
future. I'm just like, I'm gonna work my ass off to provide the life that I want.
Yeah.
And to them, that's like crazy. You should
Yeah.
just be happy
No.
that you were able to like buy groceries today. I'm just like, there's more to life. I want more. Am I allowed to have more? Because that's exactly what I want.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean where I'm like, they love me, they support me, they care for me. I have friends who are the same way. But there is a difference when you have somebody or people that are close to you who understand the other side, who is like, no, there is an infinite amount of quote unquote resources.
Yeah.
Because money is not real. Money's a concept. Everything's fake.
Yeah, that's true. What is life?
Stay woke. Open your third eye.
Yeah.
But
5G.
five, seriously. But seriously, like there's like that different side where like there's enough resources for everybody who wants it to have it.
Yeah.
You just gotta crack the code. And it's not like a one size shoe that fits all.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you gotta work on your code to crack, and then it will work for you.
And that's the thing. Like, there's this one thing that I don't know if you're familiar with Naval Ravikant. He's like this. Yeah, he's really good. Like, he's serial entrepreneur.
Yeah,
like,
he's
I
very
listen
smart.
to a lot of his stuff. He's amazing. And I don't remember who he was on a podcast with, but whoever he was talking to, they
A
said.
More Life podcast.
Yeah, soon. Coming soon to theater near you. But he was speaking to someone, and he was like, the guy was saying basically how you have to stop looking for how-tos. You know what I mean? Like, stop looking for how-to answers because whatever worked for you is not going to work for me, vice versa. You know, the more you look for how-tos, the more like you look for like processes or steps on how to get rich or how to be fit, whatever the case, whatever your goal is. You know, you don't want it bad enough to keep trying it for yourself and find your own path.
You're actually blocking yourself.
Exactly.
Because you now believe or subscribe to the idea that I have to do these things.
Exactly.
Where if you were to go open-minded to the problem, you don't know what solution might come to your brain.
That's the thing. And everyone's circumstance is so different. You know, the littlest thing has a big impact.
Yeah.
Where you live, who you know,
Right.
who your friends are, whatever the case is, you know. So it's like, find your own path and don't be scared to try new things because you'd be surprised at how much the possibility there is out there and how much you can actually achieve when you put yourself out there and, you know, just go for it. It's really all it is.
You have heard it here, guys, first. Just go for it from Viktoriya from Finer Points. Viktoriya, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All
This
right.
is great.
Where can people find you and how can they connect with you? Because this goes out to like 10 million people every single week.
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram. We follow the agency at Finer Points Econ. You can also find me on LinkedIn, Viktoriya Martisinovska. I think you maybe put it in the.
We're going to put in the show notes.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't
hard to
even-
spell a last name.
Yeah, that takes a lot of work to spell it.
Yeah, but yeah, reach out. You know, always happy to talk. I'm a big chatterbox. And so.
I've noticed. All right, guys, this has been the More Life podcast. Again, if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe, like, follow, hit the notification bell. Peace out.